Now live from his EIB studio in Florida. Rush, welcome back to Fox News Sunday. Always good to have you, sir.
Thank you, Chris. It's great to be here.
You say that what's happening to Donald Trump right now is that the left-wing courts, the left-wing media, the left-wing bureaucracy are trying to, in your words, sabotage his presidency. Sabotage?
Well, actually, I do. And it's driven by two things, actually. The first thing that's going on, Chris, in my view, it is preposterous to believe that the Russians had any effect on the outcome of voting in this country. It's absurd. There is no evidence. Zilch. Zero. Nada. The New York Times has run two stories that are basically propaganda on this, one in October and one this past week. And both stories clearly say no evidence. Nobody they've talked to has any evidence whatsoever to suggest it. The second thing I think that's important for people to remember, people that voted for Donald Trump, people that support Donald Trump, really, really believe that they were going to lose the country if Hillary Clinton won. This is not an idle thought. It's not an exaggeration. They really believe that the country as founded was up for grabs. It was over if Hillary had won, if the Democrats had another 4 or 8 years to do what they do with the judiciary and so forth. So those two things, and I think if you try to understand both of those, not you personally, but people have a much greater ability to understand Trump and his supporters if you can intellectually accept those two premises.
You also use a phrase which I have to say that I only heard for the first time in the last couple of weeks, the deep state. And that's the notion that there's an Obama shadow government embedded in the bureaucracy that is working against this new president. I think some folks are going to think that's right on, and some folks will think it's awfully conspiratorial.
Well, I would love to claim credit for that, but actually I think a reporter by the name of Glenn Greenwald at The Intercept, who has got a relationship with, what's his name, Assange, I think he actually coined the term, and I think it works. I don't think there's who's driving this business that the Russians hacked the election. It's a Democrat Party. It's Hillary. It's Obama. It's all those people who just can't accept that.
And you
they
think
lost.
they're behind the leaks too?
Absolutely. Of course they are. They're trying. Look, they can't win at the ballot box. You know they're down 1,200 seats since 2010. They've become a marginal party electorally. All they've got is their embeds in the bureaucracy and the judiciary, and they're pulling out all the stops. There's no question. This business that the Russians hacked the election, this is serious allegation that is impossible. The Russians could not have had any impact whatsoever on voting, either how they were cast or how they were counted. In fact, if you want to say they did their job. Hillary won the popular vote. How could they have possibly had this whole premise? And it's been driving news coverage here ever since Trump took office and even before. And you don't need any more evidence than that to suggest and to know that the left, which is run by Obama and Hillary and the hierarchy of the Democrat Party, is doing everything they can to undermine, to sabotage, and to prevent Trump from implementing his agenda. There's no question about it. I know what Trump should do.